Jai Baba. Today I'm going to read a couple ghazals from Hafez and a couple from Jigar, and then I'll go into my recent poetry from the last month. So this book is titled Hafez of Shiraz, and it's translated by Peter Avery and John Heath Stubbs. And this first ghazal is a ghazal that's inscribed on Hafez's tomb at Shiraz. Where is the news that makes me one with you? I would give up the ghost. I am that paradisial bird whom the world's snares cannot hold. By your love I swear it. If you give the summons to be your slave, I will soar beyond the dominions of time and space. Send down, O my Lord, your rain from the guiding cloud, or I shift from the center of things like a speck of dust. If you sit above my grave with music and wine, at the fragrance of you, I shall rise from that narrow place and dance. O exquisite image, arise. Show forth your form with its grace. I will rise and motion farewell to life and the world. Though I am old, let me spend one night by your side, and I shall arise at dawn with my youth renewed. Give me one moment relief at the hour of my death. Like Hafez, I shall escape from life and the world. And the next one is one that is a favorite of many lovers of God. I went into the garden at dawn to gather roses, when suddenly I heard the voice of the nightingale. Poor thing, he was stricken in anguish for the love of the rose, and sprinkled the meadows round with his sobs as he looked for help. Lost then in thought, slowly I paced in the garden, considering the affair of the rose and the nightingale. The rose has become the image of beauty, and the nightingale of love. The one will grant no favors, yet the other still remains constant. When the voice of the nightingale prevailed upon my heart, it seemed I had no power of endurance left. For many roses have blossomed here in this garden, but no one has plucked the rose without the stab of a thorn. Hafez, expect no relief from the turning heavens. That wheel has 1,000 flaws and grants no favors. First ghazal by Jigar that I'm going to read comes from the book Just to Love Him, Talks and Essays about Meher Baba by Adi Kairani. And Anita came across this ghazal and showed it to me last evening. And I decided to read it today and read a little bit about Jigar and read another ghazal of his. Jigar says, None do I need. With none am I concerned. My object is my only concern. To talk about you, to be anxious about you, to remember you, and to repeat your name, my beloved. Then I'm going to read something from Lord Mayher about Jigar. At 8 o'clock in the morning of June 25th, 1943, Baba held a special gathering of a few of his lovers in the Mandali to listen to songs and ghazals of Jigar, one of Baba's favorite poets, being performed at Moradabadi. The following is one couplet Jigar sang about love. If one word of love, so insignificant in expression, but so powerful in effect, is focused in the human world and then released, it encompasses the whole world. Baba was in an especially happy mood and composed a few of his own couplets on the spot. Baba also gave this special explanation and hint of what he remarked was the greatest spiritual secret. When you want nothing, you gain everything. He concluded, you will all be pardoned for your past karmas. Jigar was the nom de plume for the poet Ali Sikandar Moradabadi, 1890 to 1961, from Meerut in northern India. He was an eminent poet of India who had a true gift of inspiration from God for song and poetry. Jigar was not on the subtle plains or a salik, but his poetry was genuinely inspired from the subtle world. On one occasion, he had a true glimpse of God. Jigar did not have continual divine inspiration, but he had the inspiration of the subtle world, and only when he would write. This inspiration was therefore temporary when he was writing, and not lasting as a subtle or mental conscious salik. Jigar was addicted to alcohol, and he would drink and drink heavily because his wife had left him, and he felt a great sadness. After many years, when he stopped drinking alcohol, he became sick and gradually fell critically ill. He wrote in Urdu, and it is not known if he knew English. He was Baba's favorite living poet and a powerful writer of ghazals. In his later years, he found a spiritual master named Asghar, who inspired Jigar to continue to write. Meher Baba did not meet with Jigar in person. However, when Jigar was on his deathbed in 1961, Baba sent a man named Bagel from Hamipur to him with a copy of God Speaks as a gift from him. Bagel presented the gift to him, and Jigar touched his forehead with the book. Bagel told him about Baba, and Jigar was very consoled and very happy to hear about Baba. He sent his salutations to Baba, and soon after he died. So the night before last, I woke up probably around 4 a.m. with the words that we all know: the divine beloved is always with you, in you, and around you. Know that you are not separate from him. And I was thinking that the gifted artist, singer, composer, poet, seeks to capture and recreate the experience of the divine presence. And with that, I'll read the quote, a quote that is very meaningful to many of us from Meher Baba. To penetrate into the essence of all being and significance, and to release the fragrance of that inner attainment for the guidance and benefit of others by expressing in the world of forms truth, love, purity, and beauty. This is the sole game which has any intrinsic and absolute worth. All other happenings, incidents, and attainments can, in themselves, have no lasting importance. And now, some poetry from the last month. This first one is titled, Beyond Time. The Hopi have no word for time. Haki gestures at the river gulch below, his name meaning moon rising. The gulch dry for generations. Haki points at a snow-capped peak, makes wings with his hands, claps them 3 times to his chest. Haki smiles at the sun. Oh, beloved, I am losing faith in all but you. You are the moon rising in me, always full, never waning, a fulgent nimbus of light ever emanating. There is no time when I am with you, mind flying to snow-capped peaks, heart burning in the dry desert sun. There are no words, just you and I. You have given the eternal treasure. You have given the secret of life. You have never abandoned me. You have blinded me to this world. I am standing on the parapet of timelessness. I am ready to leap when you give me the sign. I am the longing, transformed by love. I am the dream, awakening beyond time. Over and again, one by one, I place them there. Every one has kept me apart from you. You stand before me, hands on hips. Whatever was I thinking, saying, doing? The heart suffers more than body and mind. You, beloved, suffer all the while, watching over your lover with infinite care, seeing him struggle again and again. Would that I thought of you when I had sinned. Body, mind, heart, acting on their own. I see every omission more clearly than when it happened. Whatever was I thinking, saying, doing? I finished placing all my sins before you. I ask you to light the fire. You smile as if to say, take responsibility for your own actions. I light the match, astounded at what I see. A bonfire of impressions burns before my eyes. You, beloved, smiling before me. Your hands reaching out to me. I awaken to a bird incessantly singing. My heart beating out your name. Baba, Baba, echoing over and again. The sweetness of your forgiveness, ever present within. Now, I'm going to tell just a little story about my early life, because this next poem has to do with an incident that remains with me. I was born in Manhattan, Kansas. My father was finishing up his master's degree in television. He wrote his master's degree in television. We moved to Haddonfield, New Jersey when I was 3 years old. My father was given a job as chief engineer at RCA in Camden, New Jersey, which is about 6-7 miles from where we lived at that time. We lived in apartments called Haddon Hill Apartments. Now, my father was tasked with designing one of the first color television sets, or the first color TV set in America. And he spent some time at Princeton and at Rockefeller Center, where the headquarters of RCA was in New York. Princeton, RCA had a facility where they made certain circuits that were used at that time, both in radios and then also in TV. And then the headquarters, as I say, was in New York. And because RCA had a relationship with NBC, my father also went there on occasion. And they were developing the peacock as a logo for NBC at that time, the colorful peacock. And so occasionally my father would take me with him. And I remember meeting Perry Como, Dave Garraway, and others when I was a boy. Because NBC had the NBC chimes, which some of you might remember, the NBC. My father was given one of the original xylophones, which NBC used. They used that back in radio days, and so I don't know which one my father was given, but we still have that. And also, at that time, sometimes my mother would come up and my younger brother to New York, and we would visit the museums. I should also mention, my father was at Princeton. He met Albert Einstein in 1952. Einstein was living in Princeton. My father met him, and I think they had I don't know whether it was more than just hello and goodbye. I think they had a brief conversation. But anyway, back to New York. My parents occasionally would go to the museums. We oftentimes went to the Philadelphia Museum of Art, the Rodin Museum, the Franklin Institute, which was a science museum. And in New York, we went to the museums also. So this poem has to do with a memory from my childhood. And it has to do with recreating in the poem an experience. I went to see, they took me to the Museum of Natural History. And I remember earlier that day we had gone to the Museum of Modern Art. The Metropolitan Museum. And I remember just a lot of rooms with a lot of paintings, and that's about it. And I think I was tired by the time we went to the Museum of Natural History because I was on my father's shoulders. And I remember very well seeing the Brontosaurus. That was a big day for me, seeing that Brontosaurus. Anyway, when we left that museum, which is on Central Park as you leave, whatever that exit is, I was on my father's shoulders, and there was a group outside on the sidewalk, on the pavement, and someone in that group offered me a candy or a coin. I don't remember exactly. I think it may have been a coin, but it could have been a candy. And I remember there was someone there dressed in white, and I remember he looked up at me. And that's the only memory that I have. So this poem has to do with that experience. It's titled Words Unspoken. An unexpected tenderness overcomes me. A phone call from half a world away. Voices heard thousands of times. Hearing something never heard so clearly. The fugue continues if fugue it is. A certain music, almost recognizable. Suddenly I'm 5 years old, walking with a scientist holding my hand. Morning at the magnificent Metropolitan Museum. I hardly remember the paintings. There were so many in so many rooms. I grew tired from all the walking. Afternoon at the Academy of Natural History. Looking from atop my father's shoulders. The Brontosaurus was so large. The fulfillment of this young boy's dreams. Exiting the museum on Central Park, a group stands before us. One dressed in white smiles up at me. His companion gives me a coin, or was it a candy? I hold it in my hand, staring at the silent one. Nothing more remembered. A moment frozen until now. A movie reel I watch intently. There are words I've never said. Probably best it remains this way. Somehow, tears never know when to stop. Like the rain that came later that day. This next one, I got a video from a little video from my son Michael in Nicaragua, on the beach in Nicaragua, of our grandson John Michael, and so that was the impetus for this poem, and it's the first stanza of this poem deals with that. It's titled, On Our Way Home. On a beach, somewhere in another land, John Michael performs his backwards overhead kick. There is no crowd, only 2 sticks in an imaginary net. The pastel sky applauds as he walks into the sunset. A cardinal lifts off from a backyard bird bath, thankful there is enough water to drink. Straight as an arrow, winging over trees and power lines, a momentary flash of crimson against the gray sky. Past evening, I stand at the window, my world once expansive, now diminishing. There is a pattern, though nothing discernible. My eyes do not see, but they are open. Long ago, it was so easy to follow. Day upon day, night after night, my silent prayers whispered to you. All was well, and I was happy. War came, and I became camouflaged. You did too. What has become of you and I? I am still standing on the battlefield. The world continues shaking and spinning. I salute you at reveille. I tell you my victories and defeats. I continue marching into the forest of the night. I see you smiling beyond my horizon. I stand at the window, last light dimming. One by one, the lights are going down. Your light comes on as I hear you reply. We are all, each one of us, on our way home. I always love the image of the battlefield because that's what we're on. This next one's titled, No One Knows But You. Letters form into words. Words transform into speech. My human lips speak to the ears of divinity. There is no space or time between us. An ant looks up at the moon. A lone wolf howls at the horizon. The sun keeps its distance from the earth. Oh, beloved, why do I feel this gulf? I hear the crashing of the waves. I watch the gulls dip and dive. I am dreaming the oceanic dream. I am standing on the shore of an endless sea. I am becoming reckless in my restlessness. No one ever knows but you. I smile and keep up appearances. All seems to be okay in tickety-boo. Only you know my state of affairs. You go along with me, always taking my side, always smiling, your infinite smile. Icarus flew too close to the sun. Brave Ulysses could not steer his ship. Arjuna became overwhelmed on a battlefield. Oh, beloved, remove this ocean between us. This next one has to do with the Valley of the Saints. And it's one of my favorite places I've ever been to. There's an atmosphere there that it's beyond words. Anyway, I'll attempt to say something in this poem titled Valley of the Saints. Tomb shrines appear as dots on the valley floor. These spots of light and love are interconnected. My eye wanders in wonder. Mists of light rise, and I am enveloped. Sometimes I visit here in my dreams. Erich once took us to this place. We sat in a cave of Zarzari Zarbash. Sai Baba became God realized in this small cave. Meher Baba bowed down 6,000 times at one saint's tomb. Who was this saint, and what was his story? Only the beloved knows who we really are. Only love knows the story of love. Without you, beloved, this life is infinite loneliness. You take us by the hand, the past forgotten, the future also, the now opening like the petals of a rose. Keep me with you, I who once strayed so far. Help me rest in the shelter of your arms. I entrust everything to you. Let me awaken in your sweet embrace. The dream of life flows like a river. You help us navigate the eddies and currents. Help us relax and realize the source of all emanates and ends in you. This next one is titled No One is Justified. And that comes from Bao Kachuri. We heard Bao say many times, no one is justified before God. The world is out of balance now, upside down. This poem has two halves. First half negative, second half positive. So there's always a balance to be found. No one is, and I invoke in this poem 3 of the 101 names of God in the second half of the poem. No one is justified. The muddling murk of twisted words, the agenda of the world, the stink of it, the slippery excuse of conscience. No one is justified before God. The world seeping in, an implacable ooze. Rules created, codified, concretized. Every one of us is always wrong. And so it is, and so it will always be. No one and nothing can contain you. The movement of today, no matter how inexorable, shifts with the fleeting sands of time, only to be forgotten on the blank slate of tomorrow. Your will is always done, inevitable, unconquerable, all-pervading. Blessed are those that sing the glory of love. Even more blessed are those that hold on to your demand. It began with a sound. I could not express it, as it had no form. I was watching a juvenile deer. We looked each other in the eye. Suddenly there was a music within. I knew every note by heart. Oh, awakener of eternal spring, your love knows no bounds. And then the last one, which is, I think, a prayer, a poem, a song, and a blessing. And Baba gave me the first line. I was standing in the shower, and there's a glass door, and I was looking out at a photograph of Meher Baba. Baba standing. Martha Williams painted this, the 1 or 2 hair brush, and the first line of this poem came to me. It's actually the first and last line of this poem. It's titled, it's titled Keep Me With You, but the first line, when you hear the first line, it's also the last line. Keep me with you. May your every breath be fortunate. May all your cares be passing. May your lips always repeat his name. May your heart beat in unison all your days. A robin is singing outside my window. I first noticed her days ago on the small oak. She flies near when I gently whistle. She comes nearer and ruffles her face feathers. I hear a siren out on the highway. The world encroaches, but keeps its distance. I look skyward and see a jet's contrails. So many are going somewhere and nowhere. I hear a flute on the evening breeze, calling me home. A soft wind blows through me. Your silent voice speaks within. Oh, beloved, keep me with you. I have no home in this world. I make my bed in the garden of your love, my pillow, the starburst of your grace. May your heart beat in unison all your days. May your lips always repeat his name. May all your cares be passing. May your every breath be fortunate. J. Bob.